can I give you my 2 cents on this? And this is going to bother everyone, but we've waited long enough to see these two guys fight. I don't know if I want to see them fight under these circumstances. I don't know if I want to see them fight under these circumstances without a proper training camp, without, who knows what kind of diet they've got going on now with these situations. They don't have training partners coming to them. They don't have their proper coaches coming to them. Do you really want to see them? Or should we just say, all right, the next fight? Here's my concern. Everyone got mad at me about this, DC. But this is the thing. As you just said, when the UFC returns, right, what are they going to do? They're going to load the deck, right? Because there's going to be a lot of fighters, big name fighters who want to return, who are going to be anxious to return. But also, let's be honest, UFC needs to make money, right? They're on hiatus now for a long time. So they're going to want to put together the biggest fights possible. You versus Stipe falls in that category. Masvidal Usman. Khabib Conor is a more lucrative fight than Khabib Ferguson. Everyone on the internet can get mad at me. And let me be very clear before you all freak out on me. I'm not saying I want to see that fight next over Khabib Ferguson. But if you think that Khabib Ferguson is going to make more money than Khabib Conor, you are out of your mind. You are out of your mind. So I'm just saying, if in fact April 18th gets scrapped, it is not a crazy thought to think that the next fight for both those guys when action resumes is themselves, up against themselves. Do you think I'm crazy? Because I really feel like that's the direction we're going to. Again, I don't want this to happen. Please listen to me. But I'm saying this could happen. What do you think?
Here's the issue with that. And here's why that may have a little, some legs. Because, as you said, no fight makes more money than Khabib Conor. And no Tony Khabib fight, no matter who's on the card, makes as much money as Khabib Conor, right? Or, because you could put Khabib and Tony, you could put me and Stipe, you could put Usman and Masvidal on the same card. And it would do well, right? It would do well. But it wouldn't do what him versus Conor would do. What did they say they did last time? 2.5 million?
Yeah, but that was the old model. But yes.
Yes. But listen to this. Okay, in the old model, when things sold better, right?
Right.
Me versus Anderson Silva, Brock Lesnar, and Amanda Nunes, Miesha Tate, TJ Dillashaw, Jose Aldo. Wasn't it 3 title fights? Because mine ended up not being a title fight. I'm going to tell you this right now. We sold 1.1 million pay-per-views. 1.1, and that's the biggest pay-per-view I've had to date. But think about that. Brock Lesnar, Anderson Silva, myself, Jose Aldo versus Frankie Edgar, TJ Dillashaw, UFC 200.
Right.
That pay-per-view sold 1.1 million pay-per-views. The biggest pay-per-view I've ever been a part of in my career. And I've been a part of some big ones. That's the biggest one we've done. And we had to have 3 title fights and Brock Lesnar and me versus Anderson Silva. If they did 2.5, there is no way that no card outside of having Conor with Khabib will come close to what they did that first time. So that's why I believe that is a possibility. They may end up doing that, even though the reality is, for us, the diehards, I want Khabib versus Tony. That's what I want. I don't want Conor can fight somebody else and still make money. Conor's going to make money, but I think he should go and fight one more fight before he gets back in there with Khabib, because what's going to change at this point? What has he shown in 45 seconds with Cowboy Cerrone that he's improved to the point that he can go out there and change what happened in the first match with Khabib?
The scenario they had laid out was perfect. April 18th, Khabib Ferguson. Conor returns July 11th against Gaethje. If he beats Gaethje, who would deny him a title shot, right? Like, if you beat Justin Gaethje, considering how Gaethje has been, you're a number 1 contender, right?
Absolutely. But then if you fight Gaethje, right, as much as Justin Gaethje does not use his wrestling, if he's fighting Conor McGregor, it has to at least be a thought after seeing what Khabib was able to do to him. It has to at least be a thought from Justin Gaethje to go and try and take him down. Now, if he can't, we can point to that and say, oh, Conor has made improvements that may allow him to give Khabib more problems in the rematch. Whereas right now, he just ran through Donald Cerrone. We haven't seen anything that would show that it would be different between him and Khabib.
But the problem is, Khabib said he has to win 10 fights and he won't fight him in Vegas.
If you believe, I know Khabib. If you believe that he won't fight him, you're crazy. Don't buy into Because reality is, for as much as well as he's doing now in terms of money, there's nothing bigger. The problem with that is those guys don't need much over there in Dagestan. So you never know if his values will outweigh everything. You know, he's a different guy, man, and you know, I just don't know what he would do.
Do you remember the first time you met him? Like the first time he came to the camp? And
I
do. How did he find AKA?
Bro, it's like, so crazy. Like he met Muhammad Lawal. You know, he was training with Frankie Edgar and him first, right? You know, he was training out in
Jersey.
He went to Jersey first, and he was talking to Mo Lawal, and he was like a big fan from this. It was a guy named King G. His name was Gennady, guy from Russia. That was like this tie between Khabib and Mo. He started talking to Mo. Mo was telling him about, man, come to AKA, dog. Come to AKA, dog. Got so many guys over here, wrestlers, dog. Khabib was intrigued, came out, and it's so crazy watching the evolution of who Khabib is today opposed to back then, because he showed up. Sean Bunch picked him up from the airport and took him to McDonald's. Dude was hungry. Bunch took him to McDonald's. Bunch took Khabib to McDonald's. Comes to practice. Khabib's wearing like button-down shirts to practice because it was all he really could have. You know, he didn't have money. Dude was by himself. He would sit in the corner, didn't speak English, very quiet, but he was a great, you know, picture, hug, still very nice, like the nicest kid. And because he was so nice, because he wanted to learn so much, everybody just embraced him. And then the dude started getting tougher, and he started getting tougher, and he started getting tougher and tougher and tougher. And then it was like, wow, this dude's gonna be a champion. It was crazy. It was watching it.
Did he speak English when he came?
Very, very little. He was
Okay.
like, I don't understand this, brother. Like, brother, I can't. And then we started talking, teaching him how to talk just crazy, like talk trash. And I was like, man, sometimes I gotta tell Khabib, I'm like, yo, man, sometimes I prefer you back in the day when you couldn't speak English, because all you do is talk shit. All he do is talk trash. That's all he does.
And when did like the army start coming with him?
So that's the thing, right? That's why I say the evolution, right? Because it's with all of us, right? Before, I would show up to the UFC with me and my coaches. Now it's me and 20 people.
Right.
Khabib, again, it was just him. He would come by himself, you know, just the one Russian kid. And then whenever it was time to fight, some other people would come. His dad would come and everything. And then Islam Makhachev started getting really good over at in Russia. So then he started coming. It was just one. Him and Islam started coming together. And then he started becoming the man, and it just grew. And now it's like 8 or 9 people every time, because Khabib understands what's at AKA, right? He came as a guy, essentially took a chance on a team in the U.S. that had a lot of wrestlers. And once he realized it worked for him, why can't it work for the rest of those guys? They all possess the same type of skill set. It's crazy.
You think it happens? You think it happens April 18th?
I told you before it wasn't happening. I mean, I said this on the first episode. It wasn't happening.
Because of this.
I don't think, because of this. Dude, I'm Miss Cleo. I'm Miss Cleo. You know the psychic Miss Cleo? I'm Miss Cleo now. It's like I can predict things because, first off, actually, we're both Miss Cleo, because you predicted the gloves thing, the gloves and the mask. You kind of had that a couple weeks ago. You're out ahead of the game. I was out ahead of the grocery shopping, and now I've been out ahead of this Khabib-Tony Ferguson thing from before. I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, be honest, Ariel. Be honest. At what point did you believe that this thing was not happening? Like, how long did you even believe it was gonna happen?
In Vegas, when you started talking about it, like the media was saying, we all thought, oh, you know, Khabib Ferguson at the Apex is gonna be lit, is gonna be hilarious. Oh yeah, they're gonna do it. But now, you know, the Nevada Athletic Commission, it's March 23rd, right? So the Nevada Athletic Commission in 2 days has their next hearing, and they're gonna decide what they're gonna do, because on March 14th, they suspended all activity for 11 days until their next hearing. So we'll find out just how long the Apex is going to be out of commission. But even that was naive on our part to think that they could just do it at the Apex, right? So now, to me, when you look at the landscape and you look at all the other sports around the world shutting off till May, I spoke to someone in the NBA. You know, who knows what's really going on, but like June, July at the earliest, you know what I mean? June, July at the earliest, we're going to get back. So to think April, something's going to happen. And even if they go to Japan, Korea, where it's getting better there, just seems like a stretch. And also the other thing that no one's talking about, DC, is it just going to be one fight? Or are they going to figure out a way to bring everyone over there? They're not going to bring are they going to bring Rose and Jessica Andrade over there? It just seems too daunting.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.